okay, Lee, tell me if I'm wrong, but Russell, the rapper, whose social media presence has disappeared since he released a controversial rap song saying that the vilified historical figures have been sent by heaven. He is in complete control over whether or not he brings his Instagram back, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's not like the world has voted that we don't want LaRussell on Instagram. If he wanted to, as of tomorrow, he could, or today, he could reinstate his Instagram, right?
Yes, correct.
So, I mean, what it feels like to me, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hot take here, which is that I feel like he's playing the victim a little bit. You know, I feel like the victim card has been pulled, and I'm not sure that I'm as sympathetic as you are towards LaRussell.
What about it makes it like, what's the difference between just kind of defending your position and playing the victim card?
Well, my impression is the fact that his social media isn't back and he's not using it again is kind of a sign of the persecution he's faced as a result of the release of that song. Whereas it's a conscious decision he's making. He could bring his social media back and try and sort of return things to normal and continue, his career as it was before. I feel like the fact that it's not back is being blamed on people who got angry about the thing he said. Where at any moment, just bring it back again. Just keep doing it.
But he's never talked about like exactly why he deleted it. He hasn't said like, oh, y'all were so mean and so vicious that you bullied me so much that now I have to like, for my mental health, I have to take a step. Like, to me, if he were to speak on why, it would be like, oh, I think it's a toxic place, and so I don't want to spend my time there. Like, that's kind of his energy. And to me, deleting the social media is almost kind of like putting your money where your mouth is. It's like he's walking the walk. He's like, because I feel like if he were to keep his social media, it would be like he'd be defending himself and kind of accusing everyone of selective outrage and whatever, being evil towards him or whatever he's claiming. And then they'd be like, all right, well, if you don't like the mess you made, why don't you just leave? Yeah. And but he already did. So to me, I'm like, it almost feels like a what's the word? Accountable thing that he's done.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes a huge difference how he's perceived, what happens with his social media. Like his, like, for lack of a better term, legacy. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't bring his social media back, this will be his whole story, is that he was a rapper and he kind of got in hot water with sort of a controversial song. And then he kind of went radio silent on social media. And that hangover of like the radio silence, it will always be connected to that controversy. Whereas let's say he came back, people, look at someone like Kanye. Kanye is already back doing concerts and like selling out arenas in LA, right? If you come back and people still find you interesting as an artist, the world will kind of take the next step and sort of get over this hump. But as long as that was the last stamp that was left in his social media presence, that will be the cloud that hangs over his image and his like. Well,
it depends on what he does next, and not even if he doesn't bring back his social media, because he has spoken before about how, like, because he's experienced more micro doses of controversy over the past year in much more mild way. Mm-hmm. He's like a poster child for independent artists.
Right.
And then he signed with Rock Nation like 4 months ago, a few months ago. And there was a lot of controversy in the industry and like his fans and different like commentators of like, how are you going to like go sign a record deal when your whole MO has been like record deals aren't artist friendly and yada yada.
Right.
And he spoke out about that, and he said a lot during that time, like, online hate isn't real. Yeah. In my life, when I walk, because he's big about like being in the community. He like does his concerts in his literal neighborhood. He like walks around Vallejo, California a lot and like literally meets people like a politician.
Right.
You know, like that's like a part of what he does. And so I think for him to delete social media, it almost feels like, well, maybe he's trying to usher in an era of what it's like for an artist to like have continued success with a true, genuine grassroots real life community.
Yeah. It's like you have to be in the city that he's in to come in contact with it.
Right. And if he's successful with that, then it's like that then becomes his legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a really cool idea. And I would be cheering for him to succeed in that way. I mean, we kind of lived through the cancellation era that sort of hit social media, which was an interesting experience.
Right.
When was that? Was that like 2016 kind of till now? I feel like it sort of hit a high point between 2016 and 2020 where there was a little bit of a fervor for online cancellation.
Right.
Some absolutely, in my personal opinion, justified, some very much not, but a mix. And probably with a little bit of an issue of false positives, meaning people who are canceled who probably shouldn't have been.
Right.
And we're in this long tail of sort of internet controversy and cancellation where the scales are trying to sort of even out.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons Russell is very interesting because he's somewhere on that scale. And when you think about it, what I want to know is, does it feel like kind of an echo of those overzealous kind of online cancellations that were happening, 8 years ago?
No, because there isn't like, I feel like the hallmark for what you're speaking to is like public shaming of people that continue to support the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's happening with LaRussell. I don't think it's like, if you still support him, you're like a part of the problem of some like overall social justice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a part of it. I think it really would have just been a huge moment of like hate and it would have blown over. But like I said, he's very much like a visionary and he's probably trying to do this whole like grassroots thing now. So I almost feel like him deleting his social media made it into a much bigger story and has made it like more, like we've talked about it longer than we would have.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it doesn't seem to me like one of those.
You sent me the video of his manager, posting and, talking about how she felt about it. And she was essentially kind of defending him in pretty much all the ways you can defend him, right?
Yeah.
It was like, if you listen to the song and you listen to what he said, he didn't really say anything wrong.
Right.
And if you were criticizing him, you weren't thinking about it fully. She kind of, there weren't any points in which she was kind of like being like, we probably could have been done better. And I think that video definitely, I don't know, man. It made me feel that for someone who was so incorporated into internet culture, not seeing being surprised by the amount of pushback, I come away from it kind of feeling like this was predictable,
Well, I don't really feel like it being predictable really is irrelevant. How is that a relevant piece of it? Because she's like surprised. Do you feel like she's like shocked by it?
Yeah. They seem to be stunned that the internet as a whole isn't great at like deep thinking, especially about like hot button political topics.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And she said, after I listened to that, I actually went back and listened to the song again. And man, it's odd because the song is so kind of like touchy-feely in tone and sort of emotional in tone. And then suddenly we're talking about Hitler. It's just, it's an odd feeling that it still makes me feel like at the time, I feel like, and maybe I'm just being the huge jerk for saying this, he kind of wanted controversy around the song.
I don't think he did.
Okay. I believe that. I believe that. But listening to the song, it summons that feeling in me,
I mean, I think we said this exact same thing the last time we talked about it, which is like, I think he was trying to make art that challenged, your perspective.
Right.
But I don't think he was just like looking for some kind of outrage. And one other interesting thing about that video is she explained his kind of more nuanced, like exactly what the message of the song is. Mm-hmm. And it was exactly what I thought. Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah. You, I think, were in the wavelength of the song from the very beginning.
Yes. Yeah. What she said was like the song when he says, even whatever, Epstein was heaven sent. I mean, he says good people too. Even Martin, as in Martin Luther King, was heaven sent. And then he goes into all the bad people. And what she said is like, we like to think that the evil of humanity is some far off thing that can't apply to you, but we're actually all a part of the same. We have the same, temptations and tendencies and potential for evil inside of us and for good. And that is something worth thinking about. And that's what art is for. And that's why he made the song. Yeah. And, we went over all of this. I understand completely what people can see it as. But it just so happens that that's exactly what I thought he said. Yeah. He was trying to say from the beginning. And from that perspective, I still maintain the idea that there's really nothing problematic about that point. It's simply the vagueness of its delivery that, was the issue. So,
yeah. All right. I'm going to hit you with another hot take on a totally different topic.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you a list and I want you to just tell me what connects all these things in this list, okay?
Okay.
All right, here's the list. Cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Self-driving cars.
Okay.
At-home robots.
Okay.
Virtual reality.
Okay.
And the metaverse.
Modern tech.
Modern tech, that didn't play out. And kind of face planted a little bit, right?
Oh. Okay, modern tech that was supposed to be a thing,
yeah,
and did not like become the next internet.
Yeah, it was kind of touted as like our whole world's about to be way different.
Right. You know what else? You know what just popped in my mind?
What's that?
Oh, what was it called?
Is it the Neuralink?
No. It was. I'm blanking. It was these little artifacts, like these little things that you could buy online.
Oh, NFTs.
NFTs. Remember how huge that was for like 5 minutes?
I had friends who were like working in NFTs.
I mean, they just completely dropped off the map.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my hot take on that list.
Okay.
I'm pretty much ready to plant my flag in the ground and to be wrong, but to plant my flag that I'm ready to add AI to that list.
Wow. Okay, but what, like how broad, like a specific set, like the chatbot specifically, the generative AI, or like just the whole industry?
Well, yeah, it does encompass a lot of different things. I'm going to put a blanket. I'm going to be,
wow.
I'm going to believe in my convictions here and put a blanket statement. And here's a slight nuance to the point I'm making. All of those things that I listed do have found their little place in society. It's not like they just disappear. Oh, except for the metaverse. That one
and
is
NFTs.
over.
Right.
And NFTs. Those are both totally over.
But like crypto still exists and like has
it exists. You could argue it serves some sort of function. It's kind of a hard argument to make, but that argument can be made. Self-driving cars, like there are cities that have.
They're not over. That's not. I mean, Waymo is huge in LA.
Yeah, they just came to my city. Just came to San Diego.
Yeah. So I mean. But what is it? Does that? Don't you feel like? Well, I guess I see what you mean. Like
it's about the contrast between the projection of what's about to happen to society when this technology hits, and then 7 years later when we've kind of forgotten about the magnitude of the like wave of panic that was happening of like. We're about to lose 300,000 trucker jobs because self-driving cars.
Oh, right.
Like that was a thing. That was remember Andrew Yang in like 2016?
Oh, very vaguely that.
Yang Gang. He essentially ran for president on self-driving cars and like the automation of work and of jobs. And it was kind of common knowledge at the time that this was all about to happen.
Right.
Or if you look at virtual reality, right? Like virtual reality, like entertainment, like video games, those are real. That's a thing you can go buy.
Right, but it's niche.
But it's very niche. It just found its little pocket in which of value that people like, and it works for them and everything. Anyway, I'm planting the flag. AI is going in this category.
I love this take with all my heart. I don't know anyone else that would make this take, and I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for that take to come through. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really see, like, because the niche that it could fall into is just like, 1 out of 5 Americans, or maybe 2 out of 5 Americans have ChatGPT on their phone, and they use it kind of like they use Google, or they use it like a friend that they talk to or whatever. And that's kind of it. And like really big businesses use like Claude Cowork to like, kind of like they used to use Zapier to like just automate little different small things within spreadsheets, but it's not like this overwhelming thing where like all the accountants are laid off and
right.
Like that sounds great. That sounds like the right dose, you know?
Let me give you an example of something I heard recently that like kind of pushed me over the edge.
Okay.
Which was, there are lots of, tests that have been done on chatbots in terms of passing certification exams for specific professions.
Okay.
Like taking a bar exam in a state to like,
right.
clear a hurdle to become a lawyer, or taking a medical exam. And a lot of the chatbots will pass these tests.
Wow. Crazy.
And so that's kind of part of what's been pushing people towards thinking, like we're about to, many major linchpin professions of our society are in very real danger.
Right.
But I listened recently to this description of a test that they just did, where instead of just having them take a medical exam, they presented the chatbot with something called a vignette. And a vignette is it's like a case study of a patient, similar to what a doctor would receive when preparing to, recommend treatment or, diagnosis for that patient.
Right.
Like a medical exam, you don't just pass a medical exam and you're a doctor. That's just you just have to demonstrate you have a certain amount of knowledge.
Right.
Right. And then you start preparing, what is it like to actually help someone who needs your help. And vignettes are used where like, all right, imagine you've got a patient that presents these symptoms and they tell you this and they tell you that. What's kind of your next course of action?
Right.
So they started giving those, or the study was giving those to chatbots to see how they did. And they did terrible.
Wow.
Did awful.
Incredible.
Yeah. Essentially, if the information they were receiving wasn't complete and accurate, they just fell off a cliff. And one thing that doctors are definitely, dealing with almost every patient they work with is incomplete or inaccurate information.
Wow.
And you have to like use your experience as a doctor to kind of work through that and ask the right questions and kind of like tunnel into what the real answer is.
Oh, love it. Oh my gosh. That's just, to me, that just feels like 1 point for humanity. Like I love it. Last week I had like a really bad cold, and I had a performance on Saturday, and I was trying desperately to like, my voice is still kind of like suffering.
Yeah.
I was trying desperately to heal myself. And so I use Google AI now more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because
is that just the search assistant that like summarizes stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. I use it without even realizing I'm using it. I think it's built.
Well, you can search into Google and then it'll like summarize your results, and then you can click go deeper.
Okay.
And it will take you to a chatbot page where you talk with Google AI. And I think it is kind of at this point just the same thing as Google Gemini. I don't really know, but all I know is that it is inseparably linked to Google itself, to like the search engine that is Google. And so every single time you ask it something, it combs through a bunch of links and then cites its sources.
Right.
And gives you the information. And I find that to be so much more reliable. I find it to make many less mistakes than other ones. But I was kind of like, a good bit deep into a conversation with it, trying, because I was just exploring like what are the scientifically proven, like tried and true real things that can shorten the duration of the common cold. Like now that I already have it, right? Because there's so many things that people claim, will do it, whatever, like tea and honey is like, does that really make a difference? Right. Does it? I was trying to figure these things out. One of the things that makes a difference is zinc. It's proven to like, in whatever, 70% of people, it can shorten the duration of a cold by like an average of a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was receiving this information from Google AI, and then I was asking it like, what's the best zinc product to take? Like what has the right kind of zinc and the right amount and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, oh, this brand and this is good. And so I went and got it, and I came home and I'm looking at the package, and there's no zinc in the lozenges that it recommended to me. There's no zinc. It's like menthol and honey and like a bunch of other like, cough droppy kind of stuff. And like, I think the name of the thing is like, zinc drops or something ridiculous.
And that specific one was recommended by the AI assistant. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I go back onto the chat and I'm like, what the hell? And it's like, oh yes, you're right. This one actually, it says you're right to call that out. This particular brand does not have actual zinc in it. Your best bet would be to go with this brand or this brand. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like and that frustrates me so much because I'm like, I trusted you.
Right. Yeah. Man, the other thing is that people just have a resistance to it. Most people don't want this to happen, right? Most people aren't excited about the next step of our lives that like AI is somehow going to like take over and make way different. Mm-hmm. And it's just fighting this, like it's fighting uphill against public opinion. In addition to all the like real world, this is why this might not actually be all that helpful issues. It's just, it has bad PR.
Yes.
Essentially.
So real.
Dude, I watched this thing. It was so funny. I cannot recommend enough that you watch this. It was Mark Zuckerberg's original announcement of the metaverse. Dude.
I remember it. I remember when that was
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure I saw clips of it when it happened, but I remember it being like this, like flag in the ground, like from this day on. And I was like, whoa, we're all gonna like get sucked into this like virtual world. And then and then you went and saw it and you're like, oh, this is like Walmart brand Sims. This is like terrible.
It's like being in the lobby of an online Mario Kart race.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, it's so funny because it's already looks old. Like that's part of the weird thing about like
I thought it looked old when it first came out.
Yeah. I mean, even the polished announcement video where everything is made to look as perfect as it could possibly look. It already looks like a bygone era of some sort of weird internet futurism that didn't play out.
Right. Yeah.
And it must have been back in like 2018 or something like that when this came out. And it already has this old like kind of quaintness about it. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Dude, here's what I've been thinking about.
Okay.
We lived through the introduction of smartphones.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was such a world-changing event that we're still not over the earth-shattering level of progress, or not progress, even change that brought to everyone's life.
Right.
And we're still just kind of scanning for the next one of those and expecting the next smartphone like technology that is a fundamental change to how your life works to land.
Right.
And we haven't caught our breath after the smartphone. And all of that list of technologies that I gave you, they all tried to kind of summon that excitement of suddenly everything's going to be different.
Right.
And because we're all holding the smartphone and interacting with it, it feels like that our lives can really change in that way. But none of them, AI included, have the legs to be the next smartphone. That's my flag that I'm planting.
Yeah, well, it was like I think, you know, it was like, it's crazy when you think about this, man. And maybe this is not true, but when I think about just the vast amount of change technologically and culturally that happened between 1920s to the 1960s to the 1990s to now, it's like these hugely different eras.
Yeah.
In a short span of time comparatively. And I'm like, people living in 1426, were they looking back at the 1320s and seeing that stark of a difference? Was like the 1320s and the 1360s just like such different eras? You know, like, I don't think that they were. And so I think modern people feel like we're in this accelerated growth spot. And also, you know, it's like 1920s, the car came around and like changed everything. And then in the 60s, kind of TV came around and that changed everything. But they were still pretty far apart. Yeah. Right. But then it was like 1995 internet, and then boom, 2008 phone. It was like back to back internet and then phone. We're like, oh, now it's going to start happening all the time. You know?
I think maybe the counter argument for that is, when you are living through your own little personal technological lifetime, you know, timeline,
right?
You're seeing all the false starts of things that might be the next thing,
right?
But when you look back on someone else's timeline, when we look back on the early 1900s to the 1960s, we're only thinking about the things that have lasted until now,
right?
But if we lived through that time, we would probably have seen many false starts of like, oh, you think that car is nice? Well, now, you know, there's an even better version that
like
didn't
a car
actually...
that can turn into a boat.
Right, yeah. Like flying cars. Flying cars is a good example.
Right.
One, like, you know, people in the 40s thought that, you know, in the year 2000, everyone would be flying around instead of driving. Mm-hmm. Dude, I think we're kind of lucky in terms of the generation in which we were born to have lived through the invention of the smartphone. Because when you're old, you're going to get so much mileage out of saying that you were born before, you remembered life before a smartphone.
Yeah, that's true.
Like your kids, they're probably not really going to remember life much before AI, right?
Not at all.
Like what is going to land? What is going to land that will be a benchmark in human technological progress that your kids will one day be able to say, you know, to their 40-year-old children, well, I was, you know, I remember life before, you know, blank.
Right.
Because it's going to happen. We're not just going to stop at the point we're at now. All right, on the topic of AI, we're going round 2 of can we identify AI-generated images? All right. So, Lee, go ahead and pull up our first image here. Are you looking at a girl in front of an airplane?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. AI or not? Lee,
AI.
what do you think?
It's AI.
Think so, huh?
Yep.
What's screaming AI to you here?
Let me look a little harder. It really feels AI. It feels like, gosh, I now I feel like I need to find a specific thing. It's hard because it's like not super high resolution. It's like it's kind of pixely. But this American flag is looking a little suspicious. There's some arms behind this girl that look a little suspicious. But when I zoom in, I'm like, they kind of check out. Let's
Dang,
check.
I almost had you. This is
check
real.
Some hands.
This is real.
Ah, dang. I hate that I said AI.
Well, but then you kind of saved it. This one comes from the Is This AI subreddit on Reddit, and it's kind of the one that is touted on the subreddit as the one that looks the most like AI without being AI.
Right, it's hard.
It's really hard. And the reason that they said is because this is the kind of image that AI trains on, which is a publicly available image from like a national archive that is taken with really high levels of focus all the way through the image. Like the people in the background, the level of focus isn't that different from the people in the foreground, which is unusual. Usually when you're looking at a camera, there's what's called depth of field. There's a big difference. And this one's pretty even. And that American flag isn't supposed to be an American flag. It's just like fabric that's been made with the American flag pattern on it. But you started doubting yourself there as you looked deeper.
Yeah, but it's kind of because you were like, "Oh, you think so?" And then I started to second guess. I feel like left to my own devices, I probably would have stayed AI, which is really upsetting me right now.
All right, let's look at option number 2. We got 3 statues.
AI.
Okay, I think it's AI. What's screaming AI here?
Oh God, just the vibes. I mean, it's too soft. It's too perfect. The font looks like AI font.
Man, font is a giveaway. Font is really like.
Yeah. Did I nail it?
This one's AI. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, what even would this be? Like a photo?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't quite look like a photo, but it's not like animated.
It's the font and the type, like the letters on that board, the shadows around them.
Right.
They make it look like the type is floating off of the board as opposed to being attached to the board.
I talk to AI chats enough in my life, and they do dumb things like they did with that medication enough that I'm like generally annoyed. I'm just generally annoyed, like with the personality of AI. Yeah. Like they're like a friend that I have that really gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
And when I look at this image, it just pisses me off. You know what I mean?
All
okay,
right,
next one.
Let's do the next one here. You got the menu up?
Okay, this is a menu. Oof, this is really hard. Okay, the first thing that hit me was AI, but I'm not committing to that.
Okay. I really showed you one real one, and it's really, you're hitting the brakes on a lot of these.
I know, right?
Because last time I think I gave you all AI.
I think this is real, and the reason I think it's real is because the font looks like a stock font in like Canva or like clip art or something.
Let me ask you this though. What about just the food?
Okay. Just the food. Yeah, it kind of looks AI.
Yeah. I think this one's a mix, which makes it hard, where the menu part of it is real, but the food images are AI.
You know, wow, that makes so much sense.
Which is kind of unfair, because if you're looking just at the font, you would think it's real. But
I think the font is what that, like the font and like the little, banner at the bottom, that is what really pulled me.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But if you look, dude, this one cracks me up, because if you look at the toasted cheese, like if you look at the little mushrooms with toasted cheese on the right-hand side, to me it looks like Bowser's shell from Mario. It's like it's just cheese doesn't actually look like that.
Right.
And then if you look at the salmon, the cheese on top kind of looks like the cheese on top of the mushroom. Like it's all kind of spiky and pointy.
Right.
And then even if you look at the noodles with the cheese on it up in the top left, it's got that same sort of like crowned circular spike pattern.
Yeah, it's like symmetrical.
Dude, this one really cemented for me how impossible it is to make something look like real life, like actually like real life.
Totally.
Like how close can you possibly come?
Right, but humans are just too good at it.
It's still perceptible. It's so crazy.
All right, next one.
Let's do the next one.
Oh, interesting. So this looks like a hand-drawn image.
It looks like that, yeah. This is something that people do, which is they draw on themselves to replicate an effect to make them look like an animated character. Wow,
this is a photograph. Well, I won't ask you any questions. I think this is real.
Okay, what are you feeling to make this one feel real?
It doesn't remind me of the AI style of art. Mm-hmm. And also like the fuzziness of his hair on the top, like little imperfections in his hair feel pretty non-AI.
Dude, see how that little tuft of hair on the top of his head that's sticking out?
Yeah.
My hair does that all the time.
So this is real?
It's real.
Yes.
And once I saw his hair doing that, I was like, oh no, that's absolutely real.
Yeah.
My hair is doing that. It's actually doing it right now. Look at my camera.
Good for you. All right, next one.
Last one.
Wow. Okay, this one is actually, they're trying to get you. Don't say a word. Don't say a word, because this is, I can tell this is a really hard one, and I want to nail it. Okay, so here's the thing. The framing and also the depth of field are exactly the kind of like shot that AI creates.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can imagine a world where somebody just takes a video, or sorry, shoots a photograph that has similar framing. Now, the background is really blurry. Like, whoa, like so blurry. And, you know, as soon as I look at it, the first little micro instinct that I feel is AI, but it's not as strong as, like, you know, that dude with the coffee cup on the hike. Like, that one's so obvious.
Yep.
This one is less obvious. The sunlight on her arm is pretty convincing, but the depth of field is really bothering me, especially the depth of field in the foreground.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. I'm gonna lock in AI.
You are correct.
Yes. Yes.
There's a couple giveaways, and I know these because I've read through the comment sections of people who like go in deep.
Right. Yeah.
One is that if you look at the way the shadow is falling on her, like it gives you a sense of where the sun is.
Right.
Which is kind of behind her and above.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at the things in the background, there are no shadows being cast in amongst all that foliage that would be cast if the sun was behind and above. Right. From this angle, it looks like the sun would be shining on her face and like on her arm.
You know what else, dude?
What's that?
You know what makes this one particularly hard is it's a picture of a physically printed picture.
Right. Yeah.
That makes it so much harder. Like, you can see the light in the room that this paper is in.
Yes. It's a real photo of an AI picture.
Right. It's a printed photo. That makes it way harder.
And if you look at the plants in the box by her side, if you imagine pulling out one of those little pots, relative to how deep that box is, the pots would be oddly tall and cylindrical in a way that little plant pots are not.
Or
like
there would be something like in like a book underneath of them.
Right. They would be like 3 times the height that a normal little plant pot is.
Yeah.
But another one that you're just like, man, it just tweaks my brain ever so slightly towards AI. Somehow. Yep. It's like unfair how good the human eye is at discerning real life.
I think if we just were looking at the file downloaded straight from ChatGPT, it would be way more obvious.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So it's funny too, because another thing that I see on Reddit all the time is images that people will post saying like, my uncle is convinced this is real. And it will be like a picture of like Donald Trump like riding in a chariot, like holding like a trident and like an electric guitar, right? And, you know, people are like, how do I talk my uncle into believing that this isn't real?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, my dad, like, he'll send me a video. He sent me a video of like this kid that's kind of like playing with his dad, and he says something kind of offbeat and really witty.
Yeah.
And he's like 3 years old, and my dad sent it to me, and it's so clearly AI.
Yeah.
And my dad, he does this. He's done this like maybe a dozen times, where he'll show me something and I'll be like, oh, you know, that's AI. And I think he like, I don't know what it is, but every time I call it out, he goes, you know, I don't even care. I truly, I just don't care.
He's throwing his hands up.
And it's like he's doing it a little bit in like this like defense mechanism of like, well,
Right.
I wasn't like fooled. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It cracks me up when he does that.
Man.
And so yeah, I think older generations are just really vulnerable to it.
Yeah.
It's just nothing you can do.
Okay, man, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Have a good week, my dude.
You too.
I'll catch you later.
Peace.